The very latest twist in this development is that Australian authorities have cancelled his immigration visa for the second time. Of course, this happened when he first landed in the country.
So he won't be able to play?
Well, that's all in question, frankly. He arrived 10 days ago. He had his visa taken away at that point. He went into detention. He appealed it. It went before the court on Monday. I think the judgment came back, if I'm right, on Tuesday from the judge saying that he was allowed to stay. And since then, the Australian immigration authorities have gone over and above the head of the
Paul,
court.
why is this important from a sporting perspective? We look at this tournament, you know, it's a big one in the calendar for tennis fans. A lot of other people mightn't bother with it now, but all eyes on the Australian Open. Is it poorer for him not being there, or does it just draw lots of attention to the fact the tournament's taking place?
I think a bit of both. I think it's poorer because he's not going to be there. If you look at it purely in a tennis perspective, because he's the number one tennis player in the world, he's the holder of the Australian Open, he's won it 9 times already. This is such a huge tournament for him, personally, because that would make him go ahead of Rafa Nadal and also Roger Federer if he wins. But I tell you, the irony that you just mentioned about it's Hawkeye.
Yeah, yes. Hawkeye.
And do you know the name of the immigration minister who's made the decision? Alex Hawke.
No way.
What are the chances? So it's Alex Hawke that's made the decision. Hawkeye, it just all kind of
headlines dream.
It really is.
OK, let's put ourselves in Djokovic's position. Yep. You know, the judge himself said on Monday that he had actually done nothing wrong. What more could this man have done, was the argument. And he filled in and jumped through all the hoops that he believed he was expected to do. He will rightly be feeling like he's been messed around, whether or not we agree with his vaccination status.
It's become political now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was always going to become political. As soon as you see what's going on in Serbia, when the Serbian president gets involved, he's speaking to Djokovic, then you know this is getting bigger. And then it starts turning into an international incident. And so now Australia are thinking, well, how do we deal with this? We've also got an election that we've got to fight in a few months. What are the people going to think? So it moves away from tennis and a champion actually playing at a tournament. It's what's important for the country. So, I mean, I'll give you some of the statement, and this is what Alex Hawke said. He said, today I exercised my power under Section 133C, bracket 3, of the Migration Act to cancel the visa held by Mr Novak Djokovic on health and good order grounds on the basis that it was in the public interest to do so. So the thing is, well, another thing that everybody's going to be complaining about, especially Djokovic, why has it taken so long? He's been out of the hotel. He's been mixing with people as well. Why take so long to make this decision? Because I can't see that there's going to be any other evidence or any other mitigating circumstances that are going to make him think, I know now I'm going to pull the plug. So him and his lawyers are now going to fight against this. Not surprisingly.
So it's not necessarily over?
It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
So there's an appeal on the appeal?
There's an appeal on the appeal. So this is like a double tie-break. And then the tournament gets underway on Monday. He's in the draw. Well, he's obviously going to be... It was probably written in thick pencil, which is now becoming less and less. So he's now going to appeal. His lawyers are going to say, well, this is not fair. So where we go from here, honestly, it's anybody's guess. It could just keep continuing through the morning.
And look, anyone who is feeling sympathetic towards him may also do well to be reminded that, of course, he tested positive, didn't he, in December for COVID, and then was pictured the following day, not only with children, but knowingly went to an interview with a journalist having tested positive. So there's a lot of people who question his judgment when it comes to the whole issue of COVID, vaccination and infection.
100%, even in Serbia they have. See, this is almost the concession that he's given, is saying that I tested positive. I had no idea when I met the children, but the next day when my PCR came back positive, I had a long-standing interview with a journalist from L'Equipe, and I didn't want to let him down. The guy was positive with COVID, for crying out loud, but he didn't want to let him down, so he kept his mask on, kept a distance from when he was having his photographs taken. So that's the concession he's given. Whether that's got anything to do with the decision in the court or from the immigration minister, I'm not sure, but it's taken a while. But as far as we know, he's out of the tournament now.
Okay.
And he'll be deported unless there's an appeal.
Just finally, what does this mean for Andy Murray's chances in the tournament if the world number one's out?
There's always a silver lining, isn't there, somewhere? Andy Murray, who's playing at the moment, he's in the last 4 of the Sydney Open. He will go into the Australian Open. No tennis player is going to be open to say, well, it's a good job he's gone because it helps me. But obviously, when you've got the world number one and you've got the likely winner of the tournament out of it, it leaves it open to other tennis.
Okay, Paul Coyte, you're listening and watching Paul Coyte there, our sportsman. Thank you very much indeed. The latest twist in the Djokovic case.
You couldn't write it, could you?
You could not make it up. I mean, it's literally a soap.
This. Yeah.
Yeah, so his visa cancelled yet again.
Second time, yeah.